Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Miniart, which is made in 1/35 scale. So we get here the cargo truck. It's G7107, but this time it's a combo set with a Ben-Hur trailer, so it might be a good starter for the diorama scene. Just add some figurines, maybe diorama base, and you'll get a quite interesting project. But what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of this release, so it means you'll be getting exactly the same stuff if you order this kit, which is numbered as 35372, and I think the number should be on the box art there in that corner right on the top of the Miniart logo. Also, the box size is rather standard for this manufacturer, so here you can see comparison with my hand. We have quite nice box art here. And on the side you'll find the some of the safety advices, address of the manufacturer, and on the opposite side you can see also the cartograph logo and the decals map. And here you can see three marking options which are included. As you can see, they are quite different, so you'll definitely find something suitable for your build. And this is a top opening box, and it's a tall format box, so that's why this top cover is a bit tricky to remove, but you can see that there is a plenty of space inside, and all the sprues that are sealed into one plastic bag. So let's open it and take a closer look together. So just give me a second, I just need to cut through it. And in the meantime, I can remind you that you can check the previous reviews with the previous releases of this model of this truck on the same YouTube channel which you are watching right now, and there are some interesting combinations available for sale in the same webshop, for example in Modelimex. So you will definitely find something suitable for your own build. And now I just need to open the plastic bag further because it's a bit on the tight fitment, I would say, but it's doable. And here we start with the first plastic sprue. So this is the frame B, and here you can see that we have the tarp or the tent cover which will be placed on the rear side. And while some might say there is nothing, I would say complicated, but you can notice that there are really good surface details, and I think this is rather important in 1/35 scale, so that's why with some proper paintwork you should be able to get a quite convincing result. And of course it is important also to get the smooth connection between those panels, because, well, the separate panels are obviously possible or able to create some visible gaps and seams, but usually the fitment in Miniart kits is rather nice, so I don't think it will be a so difficult and complicated task to do. And here inside you can see that we have some guiding elements for the internal structure, so the framing is included here. It's not omitted because it's not visible, and I think this is also a great thing about the Miniart sets in 1/35 scale. Next we continue also with the floor panel for the rear bed, and also here you can see some side panels. And if I flip over this part here, you can see also some structure parts. So overall it looks rather nice, and the attachment points are quite thin, so I don't think it will be a difficult task to separate this part of the frame. Next we continue with this one, and here it's not difficult to guess that these parts will be used for the trailer. And as you can see, the parts division is rather expected, I would say, if you have some experience with such kits in 1/35 scale. The only question is how to weather and paint it, because as you remember we have three marking options. So first of all you have to choose the marking option, and then you will also have to decide how you would want to weather it. And I think it's a really good playground for such stuff, so definitely check some references and you'll get some ideas. Here you can take a look from the opposite side, so we have some guiding elements, as you can notice, and we also have the sleeve springs pre-molded together with the panels, which is quite important in my opinion because it gives you the right alignment straight away. Next, for the interior parts for the truck, as you can notice here, we have the nicely detailed dashboard, and also we have some minor elements here and there, so overall it looks rather nice. Next, we continue with parts again for the rear tent, and I really wonder which one will be used. I guess the These ones are for the trailer because it's a smaller base overall, so that's why I think those will be used as well. And again, we have really good surface details, so here I didn't see anything to complain about. Next, we continue with the main chassis bars. Here again I should zoom in back, and as you can see, these are two separate bars. Obviously they will be connected in between as well, so that's why check the overall alignment for those elements, because otherwise you might end up with some interesting result. Next we continue with those parts. These are obviously the suspension elements, and also we have the jerry cans here, so you can notice them right now. And of course it's a tradition for Miniart to include a lot of accessories. Some other brands, they don't do this, but here we have it included, so that's why I say that it's a really cool bonus to have. Next we continue with Pioneer tools. These ones, as you can notice, they are molded without clamps, so the clamps or the attachments, they should be copied with P parts as far as I remember. Next we have the sprue BK, and here we have some of the wheel parts, and this one surprisingly comes only in one piece, because I was expecting that it will be coming in several pieces for more parts, but as you can see here we have everything fitted, and obviously those are the parts for the trailer. Next, just give me a second. So here we have the engine parts, and again this is not a big surprise for Miniart kit, but it's always a welcome bonus because you can use it in your diorama projects, and of course it's always good to have it out of the box. You don't have to buy anything separately, so that's why I think it deserves some additional build ideas from you. Next, we also have the separate doors, so if you were thinking how to show the interior on your model, it's possible, and as you can see, the standard parts are looking good. We have the interior panels separate, and we even have the windscreen frame molded separate. Here you can also notice this steering wheel, which is attached in a rather interesting way, and that's why it's slightly bent, but it's nothing serious. And next, we continue with this supports for the rear cover, and as you can see they're also molded as a single piece parts. And as you remember, the tarp, it actually had the guiding elements, so that's why it should be easy to get everything in place. Next we have the sprue FE, and here you can notice the front cap parts, so again the separate panels, and everything is looking rather good. And the only thing which I'm seeing is that here we have the as you can see, it's slightly broken because of packing everything together in the same package. So this is really not a cool thing about such packaging, but it should be fixable. But of course it's also avoidable if it was packed in proper way, but here it is not, so that's why we have such result. Next we also have the road wheels for the trailer. These ones are supplied on two frames. Here is the second one, and as you can see here we have the wheel rim molded together with the tire, which is rather unusual for Miniart because they usually try to give you such a parts division so that you can paint the wheel rim separately, but here it is like this, so be ready to cut out the circular masks because otherwise it will be really tricky to get the precise paintwork. Next we have some thin parts, but I can also see them on the interconnection, so we will talk about it a bit later. I can also show you the special templates for the P parts in case you would like to build the front guard out of P parts. There is such an option, so you should use these parts for the proper shaping of the guard. Next we have the small tent covers for the trailer, but I will show them later because they are molded on the sprue interconnection. I would rather show these front guards, as you can see, which are molded as a single piece parts, and we also have the bonnet panels here as well. The surface features are looking really great for this scale, and here is comparison with my fingertip because these parts are not that big and still they are quite generously detailed out of the box. And then we continue with well, I will show you the whole interconnection of the frames, so just give me a second. here they are. As you can see, all of these frames are joined together, but these are the separate frames. And there are some parts for the truck. We even have the road wheels for the truck here. And again, pretty much the same design as what we saw on the trailer. So that's why do not be surprised that you have to get a lot of circular masks for your build. And next we have also this wooden sides or sidewalls for the trailer. And next we continue with the sprue A. So here you can see also the front fenders. I'll just place it like this. Let's zoom out. So as I said, the front fenders here, we also have the suspension parts, some of the parts for the exhaust system. We have the fuel tank here, the separate bonnet, the spare wheel, and also some parts for the suspension and wheel axles. So everything is here and it's quite nicely detailed, so definitely worth showing it as well on the finished model. But I wonder how you can show this bottom part. It will be a bit of a challenge. We also have the metal chain, and this is really cool that it's supplied in the standard package. You don't have to buy it separately. And then there is one more plastic bag, so I just need to open it because again it's sealed. But here, as you can guess, we get the decals and also the transparent plastic sprue. So just give me a second. I don't know why they started packing the PE parts together with decals and with clear parts. I guess just to save a bit, but this is definitely not a safe packaging for the tender transparent parts. And here you can see them. The molding quality looks rather good, and I can see that those parts should be installable into the front cap. And also here we have the lenses. Masks are not supplied here, so in case you would like to have a nice paintwork, you have to cut them by your own. And the PE parts, the fret is surprisingly big, and here is comparison with my fingertip again. So all of these parts will have to be used on the truck, and I really recommend to install them because the final look only benefits from this. And we also have the decals. So these ones are from Cartograph, and I will just close the lenses a bit here and zoom out. So as you can see, we have stencils. We also have decals for the front cap, and even these crosses, some might say that you can replicate them with the masks, but I think these decals should look as good as the airbrush, as long as you carefully apply them on the model, of course. And here I will just close the lenses and zoom out even more. Okay, so now you should be able to see the assembly manual, and we have short list of the features here. Next we have the first marking option, and this one is coming from North Africa, spring 1943, and as you can see it's a truck and trailer and shown from all sides, which is quite interesting. Then we have the parts map, and then we continue with another page of the parts map. Here we start assembly with the chassis of the truck. So as you can see, we have separate suspension elements and the wheel axles. Here we continue also with installing various auxiliary elements. We also work on the more of the brakes and suspension parts. And here we work on the engine. So whole page is given to the engine, and I think it might be worth checking some references and adding some wiring here, because the whole drivetrain is really detailed, so it would be a shame not to replicate the wiring as well. As you can see, the exhaust will be held in place with help of the PE parts. We also have the doors, and you can replicate the not only the open doors but also open window option. Next we continue with more parts inside. We assemble the front cap out of separate panels. Here we assemble the bonnet, and next we continue with various assembly options again. As you can see, you can use the PE parts as well. And here we have also option to open the windshield, which is also quite an interesting opportunity to show what is inside in case you need it. Here you can see how the PE parts will be shaped in order to copy the front guard, but you still have an option to use the plastic part as well. Next we continue with the rear bed, and its separate panels getting together. We also have the tools here, and as I said, the separate clamps, of course. We have the chain used here for the locks. So you have to use the exact length of the chain, and here it shows the 5 loops, but I guess it's worth measuring it just to be precise. Here you can see how the rear tent is assembled, and you have an option to build whether open or covered rear section, so it might be also a good thing to choose in between. Next, we also have here some options for the wiring for the brake lines actually on the rear trailer, on this Ben-Hur trailer. And here we continue with the tent cover, so again you're given an option whether you will be covering it or not. And here you can see how it will be closed with the truck. Here is the second marking option from Italy in 1944. And one more truck is coming from Italy 1945, as you can see with the red cross. So it might be also an interesting version to play with because it's the full green color, so the color modulation might be fun to work with. As for the whole kit, I think it's a great choice for all experienced 135 scale modelers, and it should be already available in Modelimex. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.